Okay, yes we did. Up to this point, we have looked at monomials. Remember when we talked about monomials, it's an expression that could be just a single constant, a variable, or the product of constants and variables. They have a monomial, you do not divide by a variable. If you divide by a variable, it's not a monomial. Today we're going to talk about polynomials. The next class will add and subtract polynomials. You probably will have a test a week from Friday. Okay? But a polynomial, we'll be dealing with polynomials a lot from here on out. A polynomial is a monomial or a sum of monomials. So a poly means many. Have y'all talked about polytheistic societies, many gods? Poly means many. So a monomial, or a polynomial, is a monomial or the sum or difference of monomials. A monomial or the sum and difference. So poly means many. So here you can add and subtract. But a monomial is still considered a polynomial. Okay, a binomial. Any ideas what a binomial might be, Mary Alice? Okay, it's the sum of two monomials. A bicycle has two wheels, so a binomial is the sum of two monomials. Okay, if it's a sum of three monomials, what do you think we might call it, Elijah? A trinomial.
Wow.
Okay, more than that, we just usually call it a polynomial. We don't have a specific name for anything more than that. An example of a monomial might be just 4. That's a monomial. It's a constant, but it's still considered a monomial. 3x squared y is considered a monomial. Remember we said we could take the product of terms. Example of a binomial, 2x plus 7. Or we could have 3x squared y plus 4xy cubed. That is an example of a binomial. A trinomial, maybe a plus b plus 2. Another example of a trinomial, 6x squared minus 4x minus 3y. It's a trinomial. So on your paper, I have asked you to identify which type of expression each one of these is. Is it a polynomial, a monomial, a binomial, or a trinomial? So take a second and see and label each of those as to what they are. Okay, the first one, Jared, what is it?
I said it was a bio. Every time you use it.
A binomial? Okay. Is it anything else?
Monomial.
A monomial?
Yeah.
No, it's not a monomial.
It's not poly because it's not many.
It is. It could be also considered a polynomial. Remember, a monomial and a binomial and trinomials are different types of polynomials. What about 8n cubed plus 5n to the negative 2? Binomial?
It's bi and trill. Try.
No, mine is mono.
Stop.
Binomial? What do you think, Christian? What do you think? On 8n cubed plus 5n to the negative 2. Binomial? Does anybody disagree?
It's baloney.
Why do you think it's not a binomial?
And then
Guillermo, why do you think it's not a binomial?
Say eraser.
Can't you add together?
Say that again?
You add the constants together and
Yeah, two is those.
the variables. Can you add the constants together?
Constants together?
Yes.
Okay, it's not a binomial, but it's because we have a,
The same
okay, they have the same or they have the same base. What about that second exponent? What does it mean if it's a negative exponent? What would that do to that problem?
It'd bring it down.
It would bring it down, so if we were going to rewrite it,
So it'd just be a
so is that a,
That's a binomial.
is it?
No, it's a polynomial.
Is it?
1 year.
What was the definition of a polynomial? Go
A
back and look, what was the def?
monomial or the sum and difference of a monomial.
Okay, is this a monomial?
No,
Why not?
because
It's
it's
a
divided by
fraction.
n.
Divided by n, so this doesn't fit any of those.
So can we just say none?
Nothing.
None.
So if it has a negative
It was a trick
exponent,
question.
If it has a negative exponent in it and with a variable, then it's not a monomial. So this is not the sum of monomials. So we can't call it a polynomial.
exponent,
If you're watching this, I go.
What about -8, Greg? What is that?
Ooh, that was fun.
A monomial? Anything else?
No. Actually, no.
You don't think so? What's the definition of a polynomial?
It's
a
polynomial.
monomial is something.
It is also could be considered a polynomial because we said the definition of a polynomial was a monomial or the sum of
So even if
monomials.
it's a monomial, it's also a polynomial.
Yes.
What?
Okay, what about the next one?
It's a mon-
Try.
It's a
It's
trinomial
a try.
and a polynomial.
It's a polynomial and you say it's a trinomial? How do you know it's a trinomial?
There's three, there's
There's
just
four.
four things that, well, there's three, but, oh, never mind, actually, it's not a trinomial.
You sure? What could you do with that?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Told you.
You add
We could add those together and we'd have 4a squared plus 6a plus 9. So now it is polynomial and trinomial.
poly.
What about the next one? What about this one?
Sorry.
It's a
Binomial.
binomial.
Binomial? Why is this one different than this one?
Because there's no variable where the negative exponent is.
Good. No variable with no negative exponent with a variable base. A binomial and a polynomial. Okay, so we're going to talk about the degrees of monomials and polynomials. The degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents of the variables. It's the sum of the exponents of the variables. So if we had 3x squared y cubed, the degree of this monomial is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay. We don't look at exponents on the constant, just the exponents of the variables. If there's not an exponent there, what's understood? 1. Okay, the degree of a polynomial is the greatest degree of any term in the polynomial. The degree of a polynomial is the greatest. So, the greatest degree of any term. Excuse me. Thank you. The greatest degree of any term in the polynomial. To find the degree of the polynomial, we find the degree of each term first. So let's look at these polynomials. Some of them may be monomials or binomials. On the first one, 14g squared h to the 5th j. Mary Alice, what's the degree there? 7? What's the... Do you agree that that's 7, NASA? That's the first one. Is the degree 7? Do you agree with that, Kimberly? Yep. What's the degree of J? 1. So what's the degree of the monomial? 8. What's the degree of this one, Elijah?
8. It's 8 again.
Is it?
Because the x has a 1. And the z has a 1.
The X has a 1 and the Z has a 1. 7.
Oh, counted wrong.
Okay.
I'm confused.
On this one, we have to look at each individual term and find the degree. So what's the degree of the 12 m cubed n squared?
It's
5.
And then we got
And mn squared, 8mn squared, what's the degree there? 3. What would be the degree of 3? 0? Why 0?
Because there's no. So it's 5.
Any variable to 0 is 1. So the degree of this polynomial, you're right, is 5. The highest.
Girl, how did I get 5? I just wrote it out on accident.
Okay, try the next two. Degree of 12.
The degree of 12, that's 0.
Okay. What about 5b? 1. What about 6bc?
Oh, okay, I thought it was 6C.
6bc.
6BC is, there's 1B and 1C, so 2.
Shh, Greg, hush, please. And 8bc squared.
1BC2, so it's 3.
Good. There's no exponent, one's understood. So what's the degree of this polynomial?
Obviously it'd be 3.
3. It's the highest. Okay.
I still don't get that.
What do you know? What is the degree of the first term here? 2. What about this one? 3. Here? And here? So what's the degree of the polynomial? 4. Good.
Woo! We out here.
Okay. Ascending order. What does it mean if you ascend?
going up.
You go up. Going from the least to the greatest. Okay, you arrange I want to arrange the polynomials so powers of x are in ascending order. So we're looking at the powers of x. Not worried about anything that may be with x, just the powers of x. So what's the power of x with 16? 0. Okay, here we have 3, 1, and 2. So if we're going in ascending order, we start with the
0.
lowest. So it's going to be 16. Okay, let me pause this. Arrange the polynomials so powers of x are in ascending order. So you're going to have 16
Okay, now it's
2x
plus 2x
minus 2x cubed.
minus 2x squared plus 14x cubed. See, we're going from 0, 1, 2, 3.
what?
Ascending order for the powers of x. 16 has a power of 0. So 0,
Oh, I get it.
1,
So if it's
2,
already in
3.
ascending order, do you have to change it?
Pardon?
it's already in ascending order, do you have to change it?
Only if it asks you to change it to descending order.
Okay. So like,
Now notice here, we're still looking at X, even though I've got some Y's there. What would be the power of X in this first term?
1 or 0.
0. There's no X there. X to the 0 is 1. Okay, so this has a power
How is that
of
a 0?
X to the 0 is, there's no X there, is there? So that's X to the 0, which is 1. Yes, okay, so this is 3. What's the power here of X?
X
1.
by itself is 1.
X, and I'm just looking at X by itself now.
Okay, it's 1.
And then this one would be 2. So if we're going in ascending order, lowest to highest, you're going to have 7y squared plus
4x.
No.
Right?
2xy.
2xy cubed. Then what?
X squared.
Minus x squared y. And finally,
Plus 4x cubed.
plus 4x cubed. Okay, you do the last one. What's it going to be?
It's 2, 4, 3, 5.
Okay, 2, 4, 3, 5, and
0.
0. So what will it be in ascending order? What will my new polynomial be?
Negative y squared.
Please let Gabby answer.
It would be, was it negative?
Uh-huh.
Okay, just like that. And then it's plus 3,
3.
x to the second power, y.
Hush. Okay?
And then it's minus 4x to the third power, y. Then plus 2x for y2
Okay.
plus x5.
Okay, plus x to the 5th. Everybody agree with that?
38 days to graduation.
Yes.
All right, let's look at descending order. If you descend the stairs, what are you doing?
Greatest to least.
Greatest to least.
We're starting on stair number 10. 1.
Okay, so here we want to arrange the terms so that powers of x are in descending order. So what's the power of x for this term? 0. Here we get 2. So what would they be in descending order, Kimberly?
It would be negative 12x y 3.
Descending
Oh, wait,
order.
sorry. Negative 4x 3y.
Okay.
Then 7x 2.
Be sure you keep the right sign with them.
Negative 12xy to the third power.
Okay.
And 8.
Is she right? Is she right, Jared?
Wait, yeah. Yes, it's
Okay.
greatest to least.
Greatest to least. Okay.
It's recording.
Yes, we're recording.
It's Michael Lara live in stereo.
Oh god.
Doing the math equation? Yes. Zero two.
He lines up for the double.
Descending order.
So, negative 9xy plus 8.
I might watch the Masters. I did.
Do a lot of people watch your videos?
Not just people in this class.
What if like you're actually like really viral
I
and
want to
people
look at the
know?
videos and see if there's one.
Can I just put it on the bottom?
Just write it
How many
underneath.
subscribers do you have?
I don't have any subscribers.
I'll subscribe.
Usually they don't tell you who it is.
No, I just said how many subscribers, not who.
Is he right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Elijah, let's do the last one.
See what I can do here. Okay, so 1, 7, 4, 2, 0.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
It hasn't kind of done this yet, but what happens if we have two that are equal, like, if there's two ones in one question?
Not that part, like running.
If the y parts were exactly the same, then you could add the coefficients together.
So if it's like 2x3 and then another x.
And we're going in descending. I think you're doing ascending, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So let's do descending. See where the eraser is?
Will it
Whoops.
ever ask for like powers of x, y?
It may ask you what the power is, but you might do ascending in one and descending in the other.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any like that on this assignment.
It's very slow.
You can write underneath if you need to, Elijah. We'll understand that it's all the same polynomial.
It's still right here.
I'm screwed with this graph, but
Is he right, Christian?
Just say yes.
Yes. You agree, Mary Alice? Okay, that looks right. All right. Your assignment is on page 373. Wait a minute. 12 to 17 all.
yes, it was back.
And 22 to 48 even. Write the problem. Shh. Guys, listen. Write the problem down.
Well, when in doubt, go to the second division. Yeah. Free paper.
Yes.
We'll look